One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report and paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves and having a wonderful, fantastic morning so far. I know we are. So we got a lot to get through, so we're going to go ahead and just get right into it. We have on our title here, 22 killed in Russian airstrike on Ukraine, as well as 4 people die in New York City shooting. It's actually not New York, it's actually in Manhattan, I believe. But we have like 6 stories that are obviously not on to the title here. So I'm going to go ahead and briefly tell you guys what we've got. There's a Florida crash that happened with a plane with a car. This happened yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and present that for you guys. As well as there's a dangerous TikTok trend called Door Kick Challenge causes concern, which we're going to get into that in my thoughts and opinions on that. Then they are calling this New York NYC shooting. Suspect had documented mental health history, officials say. Then, of course, we go into Russia, Ukraine. Then over back into the New York shooter, we actually have the New York mayor coming out and making some claims saying that this was a targeted NFL, not quarterback, but HQ. And then we have the Walmart stabbings that happened a couple of days ago. There is, I guess, what happened just an hour ago. This whole ordeal, I'm sure you guys saw this on the internet and your social medias. We really didn't cover it too much because it was off of, it was during the evening time, and I really didn't cover too much about it. But if you guys do know about it, this guy who like went out and stabbed like 11 people in Michigan at a Walmart. So that was like 2-3 days ago, and bystanders found this guy and held the suspect at gunpoint, man. So we definitely have a lot to get through, a lot to discuss here. But before we do, man, make sure you guys come in and hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. Please consider becoming a member, however, starting at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. It's the exact way that we get to speak. You know, we don't cater ourselves to views or radical things or whatever on the internet to garnish views to make money. We're 100% funded by you guys in the Breakfast Club, man. So I very much appreciate you guys. Little side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV. We post everything behind the scenes, not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that great shit, man. Last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, membership signups, all these bullshit. It's going to be presented live, and it's not bullshit, but you know what I mean. I'll be presenting it live and giving you guys a shout out. But if you guys would like to skip that brutal 30% cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that you guys can donate to, and I have the email up right here. So if I get anything, I'll be able to read it right away. But for the pocket watchers out there,
maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
But man, good morning to everyone. I see all of you legends up in the building. We got Briar Wolf, as well as Brother Slim, as well as Naomi. Slutty Gorilla Biscuits, my man. Motobomb as well. Always appreciate you guys. We got Angry Casper up in the building. I always appreciate having him in here with us. As well as Charles Darwin down there from Down Under. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well. Good morning to you. We got Christopher Collins. Adriano, good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with us. We got a lot to discuss, as you guys can see, and like what I was telling you guys. We got Tiffany as well. Good morning. Appreciate you, as well as Todd J. My man, good to see you. Sick Bastard. Appreciate you guys for swinging through. We got Hook Dog. My man, good morning, good morning. Hopefully you're all enjoying your mornings. Neighbor Guy, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your guys' taco. What is it? Topless Taco Tuesday, because it is Tuesday, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the ordeal. We're going to go ahead and start off with a little bit yesterday, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going backwards a little bit in time. Not super live right this second. We have like 2 stories that are from yesterday. The rest are from this morning. But nonetheless, this is a Florida crash. At least 7 were hospitalized after a plane collides with a damn car.
I do want to talk right now about a breaking news event taking place in Palm Beach County, Florida, as a small plane has crashed. You can see just some of these images on the ground at High Ridge Road. Several people were injured in a small plane crash. You can see.
Damn, you guys definitely don't have to like what's going on around the world with these kind of stories, man. But you guys can hit the like button for me and my takes. Very much appreciate you guys contributing to the channel.
Individuals there on the ground, citizens concerned about this. And what we know at this point is the Fire and Rescue of Palm Beach County responded Monday to Lake Osborne Drive after a crash involving a small plane and a car. Upon arrival, crews found that the aircraft had skimmed the top of a Honda Civic. 2 people were on board the plane, 5 inside the car at the time of the crash. All 7 individuals transported to local hospitals.
Whoa,
you can see them
look at
zooming
that scene.
in on this plane, now upside down on the side of this clear.
Okay, don't show me the cop. Show me the freaking crash.
Really residential kind of road. You can see the plane off to the left. I'm not sure where the Honda Civic is actually located in between some of this caution tape, but the plane is just off to the left, and 2 individuals they are reporting were on this plane at the time of it. I don't believe it's too far away from a local small airport there in the area.
I've never heard of Lake Worth, so that's where the crash was at.
It's just happening here. It's about 6 o'clock local time on the ground in Palm Beach County, but these are just images we are gathering. Viewer discretion is advised. Sometimes these images can be graphic depending on some of the injuries. You can imagine the plane
down a
moving
tree
at a high rate of speed. Not exactly sure.
Oh yeah, I'd chop down a tree.
And they might be zooming in on a palm tree that might have been cut down due to this plane flying very low to the ground. We do know, reporting initially, that the aircraft had
Show the damn plane.
skimmed the top of a Honda Civic. So
There we go. Wow, look at that. That's fucked. Looks like a two-seater right there.
On the plane, 5 in the car, all 7 taken to local hospitals. So let's, again, take you out live one more time as they are zooming in on different caution tape there on the ground on this area. But you can see the palm trees thereabouts as potentially knocking them over, taking the top off of these palm trees that line.
And a Honda Civic as well. Damn, dude. Not just chopping trees, but chopping cars. Damn. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on into the dangerous TikTok trend. This was also reported yesterday, but I did want to discuss this because this is something that is growing concern not only for the media, but it's something that what I find interesting about this whole thing is this TikTok door kick challenge trend, whatever. I think that's kind of an excuse because I haven't seen any of these kids whatever doing these activities and actually recording themselves. You know what I mean? They're not actually recording themselves. So I don't actually understand how that is working. That they're only getting caught by Ring cameras and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I'm not really sure how that would benefit them. They're not going to get that footage. So I don't know. But they're going over here like with fake airsoft guns, fake guns and stuff like that, and making a ruckus, man. It's crazy.
All right, next story that we are monitoring for you. Take a look at this. It's a viral trend that started on TikTok.
And I hate to say this, but this trend, and this is me just being 100% honest, if you notice this trend, this ordeal that's happening right now, it is specific to a single race. I'm not really sure why this is becoming a thing, but it's just a weird observation. It happens to be a certain race. 100% of the time so far. I haven't seen anybody else do it.
And end it with some kids in handcuffs. So what's going on right here? It's the new type of trend, not for the good. And you can forget about ding-dong ditching happening. This is a whole new trend that is happening on TikTok and social media. So let's go out right now to Atlanta, and that's where we find Caroline Elliott
in the ATL
with what police are saying about this trend here.
Yeah, well, Mike, it's called the door kick challenge, and it's exactly what it sounds like, okay? The idea is to kick someone's door in, get it on video, and then post it on TikTok.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. They're not filming themselves doing it. They're basically, from all I've seen from this challenge, is a whole bunch of ring footage. I have not seen actual, like, where they're filming themselves doing it and then posting it. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it has happened, but I haven't seen it yet.
Instagram, and we're told that kids are doing all of this just to get likes.
This is all on Ring. This is not them filming themselves. This is the owner of each house.
TikTok or Instagram, and we're told that kids are doing all of this just to get likes and clicks on social media.
Could face some serious consequences, not just by the law, but also by people who may think their home is being broken into. They may have a weapon on the other side of the door. They may come out and chase them.
Yeah, you point I mean, I'm sure you guys saw in that video just now. The guy was holding an airsoft gun, and he actually kicks down the door and then blasts, a whole bunch of shots in there. And then they run away. Do that anywhere in the South, dude. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy that, if that was Atlanta, it's crazy that no one's coming out there blasting MFers, but how long do you think you're going to be able to survive doing something like that, going up to someone's property with realistically, that gun looks real. It's not, people are not going to be like, oh, that's a toy gun. And you're probably going to be charged the exact same armed robbery, anyways, so I don't know. This is a weird phenomenon that's happening right now. And I find it odd that they're calling it a TikTok challenge when it's not. I think that's just the media talking out of their ass, to be quite honest. But that's why I wanted to call it out.
And try to, to stop them and to hold them. And
it just got, that ring footage just went viral on fucking TikTok or some bullshit. And then people got motivated, I guess, to maybe go out and do something like that, maybe. But I don't think it's like, oh, go out there, this is our TikTok challenge. I think that is made up by the media.
It can go terribly wrong when all those things happen.
So what started as a TikTok trend has now evolved into a big problem.
Hold on, I can't see any of the comments anymore, guys. The comments just totally disappeared on me. Let me go. I see it on my phone, but I don't see it on the actual StreamYard. It says it lost its connection. What the fuck? Let me go ahead and step out and come back in and see if it fixes it. So let me back out of this for just a second. All right, we'll see if that fixes it. Nope, doesn't show any of the comments, bro. That's fucking awesome. That's phenomenal. Why would it do that? It says StreamYard has lost access to your YouTube account. Click here to reconnect. Okay. That's really, really strange as to, like, why would it do that? This is crazy. Reconnect, sign in to StreamYard. What the fuck? Let's see if it does it. Okay, we got it. Now let's see if it pops up all of the chats. Okay, it does. That's awesome. Okay, man, that was really rough. Well, thank you guys for sticking with me on that. Okay, so real quick, we have Bree Rodriguez, and man, we got a lot that it's no longer shown on this side, by the way, so I see it in the chat right here. We got Brother Slim for the 10 months, man, with the prospect of, becoming and staying part of the membership program, man. I very much appreciate you, kind sir, for making that happen. There it is, but for some reason it's not starred up, so I do see it right here. As well as this, it's not starred up for me either. But Bree Rodriguez sending in a respect. I very much appreciate your kind and selfless donation. I'm going to sit there and hit the heart button right there on that. I appreciate you for helping out the channel, and as well as we got Briarwolf as well. For some reason that's not showing as well. It says it lost my destination again. There must be a glitch going on, you guys. There's definitely a glitch going on right now. It keeps disconnecting from my YouTube channel, so I may have to read the comments off of my phone for this, but I'm reconnecting again, seeing if it stays. But that's really bunk. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the ordeal again. Let me go ahead and present this.
For police around the country. In Volusia County, Florida, deputies arrested 2 teenagers earlier this month, saying, quote, the door kicking challenge is a surefire way to get locked up with a felony, or even worse, shot or killed. Now, dozens of police departments around the U.S. have issued warnings about the TikTok trend here in recent weeks, and police are asking parents to sit their kids down and talk to them about the dangers of this trend. Mike?
Yeah.
Yep, disconnected again. Why would it do that? This has got to be just some weird glitch. So I'm going to have to read your guys' comments off the phone.
For charity again. The ice bucket challenge, those were good ones. Not this door kicking stuff here.
Yeah, this door kicking bullshit is really dumb in my opinion, man. I mean, obviously, I think everyone's going to be able to agree with that. All right, let's go ahead and move into the New York shooting. Officials state that 4 people, including an NYPD officer, was killed in this shooting.
We do have some of our experts still waiting in the wings to help us make sense of what we know. We're going to recap that very press conference that you just watched and you just listened to live in its entirety here. Let's bring them into the conversation.
Are you Rabbit of Chaos? Is that fairly close to the area down there where it was shown?
Conversation yet again. That's national security analyst and expert Hal Kemper and law enforcement analyst and expert David Katz. And gentlemen, that was just extremely difficult to listen to, though we did get a lot of new information, a lot of new details here. Let's just watch some of this video from the scene. This is the first moments we were made aware that a shooting had occurred in Midtown Manhattan today. Okay, I'm going to keep this up. This is from earlier this afternoon. Viewer discretion is advised. So this is what we know, that 5 victims in total were shot. 4 of those victims were shot and killed. The shooter is dead. One of these victims now is fighting for his life. That off-duty NYPD officer, he's an immigrant from Bangladesh. He's 36 years old. He was killed. He was a 3.5-year veteran of the department. He had a wife and 2 children with a 3rd child on the way. Of the victims that were killed in this, 2 of them were males. One of them
real
was
quick,
a female.
I reconnected it real quick. So anytime someone sends in a membership or some sort of super chat or something like that, I'll reconnect my YouTube to keep getting it to do this. But we got Gorilla Biscuits giving out a membership, man. I very much appreciate you doing that for us, man. Very much appreciate that. Not only helps me, but it helps someone in the chat as well, man.
And then the other injured victim is a male who is fighting for his life right now. The suspect died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I want to put this up here. Take a look at this. Hal Kemper, I'll start with you. We know a lot more information now about this vehicle. And we didn't when we first brought it to our viewers. Skyfox overhead of the scene. We learned that the black BMW there is the suspect's car, that he drove specifically to New York City over the course of 2 days to carry out this attack.
Oh, wow. Wow. He drove for 2 fucking days to get over there to do this? Talk about premeditated.
From Nevada, stopping in Colorado, Nebraska, then New Jersey, getting to the city this afternoon here. So, Hal, what more?
What's up, Unapologetic American? I see you up in the building as well, by the way. Hopefully you're all enjoying your guys' Taco Tuesday, your topless Taco Tuesday. Unfortunately, my StreamYard's disconnecting from my YouTube, so I can't see the chats, put them up onto the channel here. But I do see you guys. If you guys do send in a super chat or something like that, I'll try to reconnect every time to be able to present those. But yeah, there's some weird glitch.
What are you going to do with that car?
They're going to look. They've already found, a weapon in the car. They found extra ammunition. They found the gun case. But they're going to be looking at everything.
Oh, Gorilla!
Computer.
He did grift another man. He did, man. I very much appreciate you making it rain on us, dude. Shit.
More to fill out where he was. It sounds like they got a pretty good track record on his trek across country. But they're going to find out a lot of different things, or maybe receipts, other things in the vehicle that would be very useful. I have to say that with the FBI being involved, they do some forensic stuff, which is amazing what they will find. And they're going to go through that car completely and try to find out as much as they possibly can. Of course, the big fear.
Now, this happened 10 hours ago, and we have an update on this whole thing from the mayor. I guess it had something to do with the relations to NFL or something like that. So we're going to find that out. We're not going to play this whole thing out right here, but we are going to get some of these images because I am interested for dang sure.
Did he have accomplices? Is there somebody he was talking to online? They're going to look beyond the car and look at all of his electronic media and everything else to try and find, is he connecting anything? Because that's the fear. The fear is there still...
Thank you, GB. We'll see you on the flip side, my man. Always appreciate you and your help here, man. Thank you.
Threat out there.
Yeah, and Jessica Tisch, the commissioner of the NYPD, said, though, that as of now, they are not looking at anyone else as part of their...
Man, Gorilla Biscuits, before he even leaves, he's like, nah, I got to drop another one of these gifted memberships, man. Hey, thank you very much for that, kind sir. I see Dark Souls got it, man. Very much appreciate that as well.
Investigation, to your point, whether or not there was, outside assistance for this shooter, this suspected gunman, 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas. David Katz bringing you into the conversation now. Let's talk about what was confiscated from the vehicle after the search. A revolver, also we know more ammunition, more magazines, and medication. Las Vegas police alerting the NYPD that this suspect, that this gunman, had mental health issues. That's all they...
That's always I would imagine if you're going out there driving 2 fucking states over, or 2 days of driving, which sounds like damn near all. You can get across the United States pretty, within 3 days. So 2 days of driving. Shit.
Would divulge on that specific question. They didn't go into details about how Las Vegas police knew that, but you can make the...
Johnny's Crunk, I see over there with the Omega Bog, dude. I remember that. Hopefully you're doing well over there on the Twitch side of things, man. We're over here on YouTube. Hopefully you come over and hang out with us.
Assumption, you can make the leap, David, that he was known to Las Vegas law enforcement.
Yeah, I don't think that's a particularly large leap to take. The 2 inconsistent things that they mentioned was the fact that he has a concealed carry permit and they know him to have mental disabilities. That's outrageous. I mean, if he is known to the police department in any jurisdiction.
Whoa, is that the image of dude? Holy shit. He's rocking like some sort of it looks like an AR platform.
You look at him here, you look at him walking brazenly across into the building on Park Avenue, and then you hear about this determined trek that he took across the country without any significant breaks. And you get the feeling that this is somebody who was on a mission. He was going to that building for someone, something. He went in there, he obviously did.
Hell yeah, my man. It's at Insane Wheels, all one word, Insane Wheels, just like it sounds, no Z or anything like that. Or you can just type in Mike Ball and it'll pop up. So we're all hanging out over there.
Some sort of, maybe online, maybe he's been to that building before in the past or something, but he seemed to know what he was doing, and he went right, basically shot his way to the elevator and went right to the elevator. A specific floor, was firing the weapon around that floor, even let a woman who was on the elevator when he got on pass. And I find that kind of interesting. That's not somebody who's just randomly shooting anyone. That's somebody who is either someone eliminating whom they would presume would be a threat or something to stop them, and then going to a specific place to do an attack. I think we're going to find out a lot more about this, but...
Man, this is crazy. What the fuck is all this? What is this image? They're showing it off. Let's go ahead and get a little context here.
This... Employees there, I'm not entirely sure what
Oh,
floor this was.
they blockaded themselves in there.
In the building itself, this has been obtained by Fox News. Employees who work there in the building barricading themselves where they are, putting office furniture near the door, piling it high, almost up to the ceiling. Now, what we know, David and Hal, was that he took the elevator up to the 33rd floor, where apparently that is the headquarters of the offices of Rudin Management, which, from what I've been reading, Rudin Management owns the Blackstone building. And he shot and killed one of the victims on the 33rd floor here. And you heard...
Holy shit. Up there in the 33rd floor.
One of the questions being asked by a reporter, was that floor teeming with coworkers, employees at that time? And then
That's
presumably
crazy.
That is where he took his own life after his rampage was all said and done. What do these images speak to you, David?
Boy, that's a lot of ground to cover. So let's start back in 20.
We're not going to go ahead and hear all of that. Let's see if we get any other images. If not, we'll move on. And we have an update within just like the last hour.
It's happened before. If you look at the toy
on that plaza in the lobby, how do you respond? How do you react?
He's just freely walking in, just with a AR along his hip, like it's no fucking big deal.
In the moment, we know that there was a security guard, the off-duty NYPD.
That's the only fucking image they got, dude. You serious? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on from this. We're going to go into Russia, Ukraine real quick. There's a small update. It's actually very short, meaning small and in the aspect of the length of this update. It's the length of it's only about 3 minutes, so it's not that big of a humongous update. But let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys here. And this was 22 killed in Russian airstrike on Ukraine. This was as of 3 hours ago. So now we're pretty much caught up. We're getting into today's news, all of that.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine. Just into our Live Now from Fox studio, we are following some breaking news as relates to the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Good morning, Frederick Frame. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far.
Take a good look at your screen. The latest still images, courtesy from our content partners over at Reuters. This, as we are working alongside the Associated Press, they're
reporting Russia kills 22 civilians in bomb and missile attack on Ukraine. And, of course, Zelensky's going to go out there and talk about
Russian glide bombs and ballistic missiles hit a Ukrainian prison and a medical facility overnight as Russia's relentless strikes on civilian areas killed at least 22 people across the country. Official confirming this news to the Associated Press this Tuesday. They say despite U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to soon punish Russia with sanctions and tariffs unless it stops, 4 powerful Russian glide bombs,
which originally did put on Putin, meaning Trump, put that 50-day sanction, if by the end of 50 days, if you guys haven't come to some sort of agreement here, then we're going to put on some sanctions on you. Then we heard him yesterday speaking, and he said, well, no longer are we going to be waiting those 50 days. I'm not really waiting for any real issue at this point. There's not going to be a change. So we're changing it from 10 to 12 days from yesterday.
A prison in Ukraine's southwestern region that killed at least 17 inmates and wounded more than 80 others. The latest images on your screen, as I just mentioned. In a region of central Ukraine, authorities saying Russian missiles partially destroyed a 3-story building and damaged nearby medical facilities, including a maternity hospital and a city hospital ward.
That's fucking terrible.
Officials saying at least 4 people were killed, including a 23-year-old pregnant woman. 8 others were injured.
Jesus.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying that across the country, 22 people were killed in Russian strikes on 73 cities, towns, and villages. I do want to share with you the very latest.
I'm surprised no drones in this one.
From the Ukrainian president on this Tuesday morning. That is Volodymyr Zelensky, that statement there on your screen.
Real quick, what's up, 13? Appreciate you hanging out with us. You guys, my YouTube chat is scuffed today. For some reason, I can't bring up any of the comments on my side. StreamYard's glitching or whatever. But I do see you, 13. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far, as well as everyone else in here hanging out. Make sure you guys hit the like button. You guys don't have to like the craziness in the world, but it does very much help me.
As we are working to learn the very latest from around the region, specifically from Ukraine. That tweet there on your screen says, quote, yesterday, very important words were spoken by President Trump about how the Russian leadership is wasting the world's time by talking about peace while simultaneously killing people. We all want genuine peace, dignified and lasting. That sets up the quote on your screen as it goes on to say every killing of our people by the Russians, every Russian strike at a time when a ceasefire could have long been in place, if not for Russia's refusal. All of this shows that Moscow deserves very harsh, truly painful, and therefore just and effective sanctions pressure. They must be compelled to stop the killing and make peace. Zelensky goes on to say, quote, I thank everyone who is helping with this. Ukraine welcomes President Trump's efforts and his determination to achieve peace. We are grateful to all the leaders who are helping defend Ukraine and exerting pressure on Russia. Peace is possible, but
man, fuck both of them.
Only when Russia ends the war it itself started and stops tormenting people. Zelensky concludes his statement on X.
Yes, Charles. I see you down there. He says, did StreamYard have an update? And yes, it did have an update. So that's probably why that update happened, I think, this morning, overnight, something like that.
By saying, quote, glory to Ukraine. Again, if you're just now tuning in, following breaking news, bright and early this.
Yeah, that's definitely rough to say the least over there in Russia, Ukraine. Definitely an ordeal. Let's go ahead and move on, though. We're going to go ahead and give you guys the update as of 2 hours ago. The mayor over there in New York coming out and talking about this was a targeted attack with NFL HQ.
Mayor Adams, thank you.
I don't know what the HQ means. I can't imagine that being the headquarters, but we'll find out.
Thank you so much. Our condolences to everyone who was affected yesterday, their families, the people who work in those buildings. What new information do you have for us this morning, Mayor?
Thank you for having me and really pointing out this horrific incident. We had 6 people who were shot, one being the suspect. As you indicated, he turned the gun on himself and shot himself in the chest.
Oh, so he then eliminated himself after he did the shooting.
Yes, he appeared to have some history, mental health history from what we're getting from our partners in the Nevada, Las Vegas area. But it's just a real unfortunate situation. The suspect walked into the building 345 Park Avenue carrying in his right hand an automatic weapon, immediately discharged rounds, shot a police officer.
That's right, Prez. You know what? I also need, not necessarily a beer right now, but I do need a little left-handed tobacco. I can tell you that, especially when you're frustrated, when you can't show up any of your super chats, you can't show off comments, can't do any of that. So, well, we'll go ahead and just blame it on this today. Cheers to everybody. Shit.
A 3-year veteran with 2 children, and his wife is expecting a child on the way. And again, our hearts goes out to the entire city in general, but specifically the men and women of the NYPD and Officer Islam's family.
Yes, we agree with you and send our condolences as well. Tell us about the apparent suicide note that was in the shooter's pocket.
He alluded to having CTE from playing in the NFL. He never played in the NFL. And he alluded to the CTE being the reason for his illness. It appears as though he was going after the employees at the NFL, the building, 345 house.
Wow. Going for the employees of the NFL. Why? What's the motive?
The NFL's...
was he pissed that somebody won or lost? Or like, what's his grief?
Company there as well, but we're still going through the suicide note to zero in on the exact reason. But at this,
what's up, Johnny? I see you up in the building, man. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Good
time,
to see
it
you in
appears
here.
as though something
Thanks for
that is
coming over.
attached to his belief he experienced CTE from playing in the NFL.
And so it appears that this is an individual who drove all the way across the country from Las Vegas, believing he was suffering from this brain disorder known as...
Hey, I told you guys it was almost across the entire United States. I mean, I drove here in a moving truck in 3 days, and that's almost coast to coast. Almost. But still, if you drove 2 days He came from far ways, and as he just said, came from Vegas all the way over there to Manhattan. Damn, that's a drive.
CTE. He goes to this building where the NFL headquarters are located in some kind of revenge situation. He gets inside. He ends up on the 33rd floor. We know that the NFL offices are on a lower floor. Does it appear he got lost in the building? Was he trying to get there? Did he just go the wrong way? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, great question. There are two different elevator banks, and as you know, anyone that's in many of our corporate buildings, some banks don't go to every floor. He appeared to have gone to the wrong bank, and he ended up on the floor of Rudin Management.
What?
And you see on the videos that he discharged the weapon several times.
What?
And we must commend Rudin Management for the safety precautions that they've put in place, even a safe bathroom where you can lock it down with a bulletproof door. Some of the staffers use that. It's unfortunate that during these days and times, active shooter drills are taking place all across the country, and Rudin Management did their job of clearly having those.
This is crazy.
Active shooter drills, and the staffers who were in the building were able to utilize some of the safe rooms, and I believe it played a great role in saving lives of some of the staffers. It was after 6 p.m., and so many people were no longer in the office, but he appeared to have gone to the wrong floor and due to the wrong elevator bank, where you can see on the front desk.
So why would he go to the wrong place after driving 2 days straight to obviously go after somebody in particular, go to the wrong place, and then still shoot up the place? What?
Which elevator bank was the NFL, but he did not go to that bank.
Okay, so it sounds like he did go to the wrong floor. You know, you talked about it, a history of mental illness. You've been in touch with your partners out there in the Nevada area where apparently he had a concealed carry permit. If this is an individual who had some history of mental illness and then is able to get this permit and then a high-powered rifle, I mean, those things don't seem like they're adding up here with this history of mental problems and then being able to get this high-powered rifle.
And it harms cities like New York. When you look at the fact we have been on a very focused action of removing illegal guns off our streets, over close to 23,000. Here you have a person that is able to drive from an area where the carry laws are more lax and enter our city.
Well, yeah, anything's more lax than fucking New York. Jesus. What a terrible, terrible liberal-ass policy. All their policies are liberal as fuck, but especially when it comes to firearms, dude. I mean, I come from Southern California, so, I mean, where I came from is not much better. It's probably just as bad. You know, now I live in a free state where we don't have to worry about none of that bullshit.
And have in possession of an automatic weapon of this magnitude, that is the battle that we've had as New Yorkers, that we had to actually not only police our city, but police the...
What's up, Bill Castle? I see you up in the building. Aloha, and hopefully you're enjoying your morning over there in Washington State.
Neighboring states that allow more lax gun laws, and
What's
they
up, Papa
enter
Penguin?
our
Good
city.
morning.
He drove from Las Vegas, as you stated, to come to New York to do harm.
Mayor, were there any warning signs that he was on his way here? I know New York is always the target, and that our police officers thwart a lot of possible attacks in this city. Yeah. Do we have any indication that he was on the radar of our police officers?
No.
No, not at all. And our partners from federal agencies, they were here to assist as well. And there were no indications at all that he was coming to New York.
Wow. So, I mean, we're not going to play the whole thing. He's just going to reiterate the same thing that he basically just stated here. Very interesting. We're going to be following up on all of that, I'm sure, tomorrow. We give you guys all these updates as we go. Speaking of update, it's going to be one of our updates as well regarding the Walmart stabbings that happened up there in Michigan, I think a few days ago. I guess they found the guy, and bystanders held the suspect at gunpoint. Good for them. This is as of an hour ago. Look, there's not even 2,000 views on this yet, you know, so here we go.
A Michigan prosecutor has filed a terrorism charge against a man accused of stabbing 11 people.
11 people, motherfucker. Yeah, that's a lot.
At a Walmart store. The charge has been rarely used in the state's court since it was adopted more than...
Now, thank God nobody actually died from this whole ordeal. Everyone was injured and obviously sent to the hospital. But I believe there has been no deaths on this.
20 years ago during the national outrage over 9/11. The Grand Traverse County prosecutor said she believes the charge fits because the weekend attack was intended to, quote, put fear in the entire community and to change how maybe we operate on a daily basis, end quote. But proving that could be difficult. Bradford Gilly has a history of mental health problems. The suspect also faces attempted murder charges, one for each Walmart stabbing victim. A not guilty plea was entered for Gilly, and bond was set at $100,000. The hearing, though, started with Gilly saying he did not want to take part.
So this is the courtroom and the prosecuting attorney.
Oh, so this is that weirdo.
And court-appointed attorney, but I'm not DC attorney. Okay.
Do I have to do this?
I'm just talking.
Can't they just get him a decent microphones for everyone, not just the guy, the jailer? Like all these people on here, like you can hear it's just terrible audio.
I mean, it's not going to hurt you in a way. They're just going to talk to you, okay?
Cops talking to him.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gill, Mr. Gilly.
See, like over there in the courtroom, why it sounds like they're talking through a fucking potato. What? Why?
You pronounce your last name, sir?
A tin can.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you.
All right, so that was part of the hearing.
That's actually not as wild as you guys think. There's lots of times that people go up there and just like, I don't want to have any conversation about any of this shit. You know, it's not necessarily completely uncommon.
From just yesterday, again, a not guilty plea entered for Gilly and bond set at $100,000. In the meantime, we are getting new video coming into the newsroom as bystanders were able to stop that suspect detaining him for police. This is video filmed by Chris O'Brien. You can see one of those bystanders there holding the suspect at gunpoint as police were able to take him into custody. Again, this video here just coming into the newsroom. I do want to talk much more about the situation that unfolded over the weekend outside and inside of that Walmart over in Michigan. Tiffany Defell was in the parking lot of the Walmart and joins us now to discuss what she witnessed and how all of this happened.
It looks like the black guy's got the gun. I mean, he's holding it all G'd up. From the feet up kind of thing. He's doing one of these little sideways, you know, but he's really about this shit. He's like, yeah, you motherfucker, you ain't going nowhere.
Imagine what you're going through. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
I was about to say, who the hell is this bitch? But I guess this was a witness at the scene.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And first off, can you kind of walk me through what you heard, what you saw as you got there?
Well, when I pulled up to Walmart, me and my sister were actually going there. I was out working for Uber Eats. And right before we had pulled up to Walmart, I had actually gotten a phone call from my younger daughter, kind of trying to have me avoid the area because she was like, there's a lot of commotion. There's a lot of police, fire trucks, ambulances that are kind of all rushing to the scene. So I kind of, ignore the warning that my daughter was giving me. I continued.
Typical woman. You know what I mean? You just ignore the warning that I was given.
To proceed to Walmart, and as me and my sister had pulled into Walmart, all you see is nothing but police everywhere, people running in the parking lots, employees standing, fire trucks, ambulances. It was just a whole chaotic.
What's up, Gary? Good to see you, my man. Good to see you.
Scene. Good morning. That was there.
Did you have any idea what was really going on? Again, as you mentioned, you got kind of a heads up that something was happening, but at that point, did you know what was happening?
We didn't really know what was going on. I was hearing multiple things from different people, from people calling me because they knew that me and my sister were going to the Walmart. And so, at first we had heard that it was a possible abduction. Then across the phones, it came up.
So the dude lingered around or what? Like, I don't get it. Wasn't the same day? So the guy went back to the wall. I don't get it.
Up as active shooter, and so it was all coming into pieces, and it was still all confusing and just a state of chaos. And then happened to where I had actually parked to the Good Samaritan Derek Perry, who had actually pulled the pistol to help subdue the subject. Me and my sister had actually parked right next to him, and me and my sister were talking amongst ourselves, trying to figure out what was going on with the people on the phone, the people at the scene. And that's when Derek then proceeded to let us inform us that hey, it's not an active shooting. In little words, he basically let us know that he did what.
So yeah, like 13 says, aftermath witness. She knows nothing. Why do they even have this brought up here? You know what I mean? Oh, your daughter called you, told you not to go in the area. You went in the area anyways, and you were amongst some commotion that you had no actual footage of, visual of. You just happened to be a part of the fucking chaos outside for a minute.
he had to do to help, stop the suspect.
I love this. Like Papa Penguin says, you notice how this motherfucker got captured by a guy that, can possess a legal carrier, like, isn't that amazing?
And in the midst of the conversation, I had noticed on his sleeve of his shirt that there was some blood.
That's right, sick bastard. Emotional damage. That's for damn sure, dude.
Emotional damage.
Good to see you, by the way, brother Steve Posey. I see you in the building.
On his shirt, and so we pointed it out to him, just to make sure he wasn't injured, and that's when he proceeded to say, no, that's his, and all of that. We thanked him for the heroic efforts that him and the others did, and I remember him telling me, there's no thanks here, there's no thanks needed here, and it's like, there you are. I'm so thankful for him, because if it wasn't for him and everybody else, this
it says down here, Tiffany, I'm guessing the chick talking right now is Tiffany, and they're calling it a stabbing witness, which I think is kind of cap, but
been way worse than it was.
And you're looking at that video. That's him right there in the video. What goes through your mind now, several days later, as you watch this?
It's scary to think that, if I would have arrived at that store moments prior to all of this, that could have been me and my sister. My sister.
Yeah, well, that's true. All right. The rest of what you've got to say, lady, I really don't need to hear. All right. We're going to go ahead and go into the last story of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have this that just came out 17 minutes ago. It says Gaza aid looters caught on video, Israel claims. The IDF comes out and tweets over there on X, so I guess use whatever over there on X. Quote, "Where's the aid?" Footage from just 4 days ago shows Hamas terrorists looting an aid truck. This is the same organization spreading false claims about a deliberate starvation campaign in Gaza. Make it make sense. Oh, shit. They're actually using the make it make sense.
Look at a post here from the Israel Defense Forces. They do say that essentially they have resumed those airdrops, but they posted that footage right there on the left-hand side of your screen saying, quote, "Where's the aid?" Footage from
I want to see the footage.
Just 4 days ago shows Hamas terrorists looting an aid truck. This is the same organization spreading false claims about a deliberate starvation campaign in Gaza. Make it make sense. Again, we do have a closer look at the video that they posted, and you can see it right there coming in courtesy the IDF. They have circled those Hamas terrorists, they say, are stealing the aid, and you can see this in the video again posted there from just 4 days ago. I do want to discuss all of this here, so let's bring in Eylon Levy, former Israeli government spokesperson, joining us now live. Thank you so much, Eylon, as always, for taking the time to be here with us.
Hi, Josh.
I'm not surprised by any of this. And of course, here comes a former Israeli government spokesperson coming in with AirPods as his microphone. I'm always like dumbfounded by this shit.
Stupid.
Get him decent microphone. You're going on national television, bro. You're using their AirPods. Sounds like you're in a tin can as well.
And I did want to start by asking you, we played some of the comments there from President Trump speaking in regards to what Prime Minister Netanyahu had to say about no starvation there in Gaza. What do you make of all of those comments? What do they say to you?
Look, there are clearly hungry people in Gaza, but the reason there are hungry people is that Hamas continues to wage a vicious war to hijack aid, and the UN aid system has completely collapsed inside Gaza. I was there inside the Gaza Strip just 2 days ago at the Kerem Shalom crossing. We saw the contents of 600 trucks worth of aid. We're talking hummus and lentils and flour and cooking oil and pasta all rotting in the sun because the UN hasn't been able to pick it up. Just yesterday, Israel let in more trucks than the UN was able.
And we saw that picture where the UN's food out there was just out there in some random like concreted field. It was just sitting there. And Trump, I think, actually put that out and was like, no, it wasn't Trump. It was the IDF that put it out.
To collect. That aid delivery system is not working. As a result, there are people who are hungry, there are people who can't get food. And what we need now is pressure on Hamas to stop hijacking aid, stop diverting it to its fighters, and on the UN to start doing its job and stop making excuses.
And what I want to do is pop up that video once again that we were showing right before we brought you on. And this is one example, according to the IDF, and you and I have spoken about this in the past, but you can see...
This is not even as big as I would expect it to be.
The Hamas terrorists, they were...
Looks like, you got two guys with a gun each, and naturally, I don't think anyone there in Gaza has a freaking firearm like that. So it comes down to force. Absolutely. You can have two guys take over an entire mob. It's insane.
Looting that aid, that is obviously a problem there. Is there anything that anyone can do to prevent the terrorists from stealing that aid and preventing it from getting to civilians?
One of the problems of getting aid to people who need it is law and order. Who provides security? Israel is offering the UN will safeguard those.
And I agree with that, Charles. We absolutely should defund the UN completely, all the way around.
Convoys will keep them safe, and the UN doesn't want that. You want to hear something crazy? The UN is demanding Hamas police protection. The same Hamas that led the October 7th massacre, the same Hamas that keeps diverting aid and hijacking it, as we see in this video. It's crazy that the UN is demanding that terrorists protect the trucks inside Gaza. That's one of the reasons that it's been difficult to get aid to people who need it. And that's why Israel has been taking the initiative to try to get aid directly to the people who need it and make sure that Hamas can't steal it. It's why Israel is helping the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an American initiative, distribute aid directly to civilians. And it's the biggest aid operation on the ground now. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has delivered nearly 100 million meals worth of food, bypassing the Hamas system. And I think the UN needs to work together with it to get food to hungry civilians instead of continuing to make excuses and demanding Hamas protection for its trucks.
And we're just a few months away from 2 years since the October 7th attack there by Hamas on Israel. We know that there are still dozens of hostages that are being held. Is there any information that's known about the remaining hostages, their
Thank you for asking that question there, Josh.
conditions, all of that at this point?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning the hostages, because this has been swallowed.
Good on him for saying that too.
By other news, and people are trying to forget them. There are still 50 hostages trapped in the dungeons of Gaza. 20 of them are alive. We know they're being tortured. We know they're being starved.
So that was the question I bared yesterday, was how many hostages are actually left that are alive? I thought it was 20 total, but no, it's 20 that are alive and 50 hostages total. So 30, unfortunately, that's passed. But doesn't matter if they're passed or not. They need to be reunited with their family. You know, this is insane that we're still talking about hostages. It's insane that this has not been one of the first things figured out here.
When they're being held in the most inhumane conditions, and Hamas is refusing to release them. Here's how crazy it gets. Israel and Hamas were discussing a deal, a ransom, basically, to get the hostages back. And international pressure has now sabotaged those talks. We've seen foreign ministers from around the world, not the US, thankfully, who decided to turn the pressure up on Israel. That led Hamas to harden its demands in the negotiations, increase its price, and those talks collapsed. Steve Witkoff, the US special envoy, said Hamas was not negotiating in good faith. It's not interested in reaching a deal. And so the release of the hostages seems further away than ever. Netanyahu is now talking about...
Definitely not surprised that the UN was telling them basically not to do it type of thing.
Exploring other ways to get the hostages out, but I'll be honest, no one in Israel knows what that is. What we need now is pressure on the...
What's up, Stephanie? I see you in the building. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well.
Hamas regime and its patrons. Hamas, which started this war. Hamas, which is fighting this war from a network of military tunnels underneath civilians' feet. Hamas that is stealing people's food and hoarding that food. Hamas that is holding the hostages and refusing to surrender. It must be pressured. Lay down your arms, go into exile, release the hostages, and this horrible war that you unleashed on the Middle East can finally end.
I want to pop up this statement coming in.
Yeah, I don't think it'll actually end, though.
Short time ago from Prime Minister Netanyahu's office here. It was posted on X, and there were kind of rumblings about this yesterday, but he did say Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The conversation between the two leaders was on the issue of Iran. Again, not a lot of information known, but are there any, let's say, notable insights, implications from that conversation?
Well, the challenge now is to make sure that the Iranian regime cannot rebuild its nuclear weapons program. Let's look at what an amazing success the Israeli and American operations were in Iran. And by the way, great teamwork and a great reminder of the importance of the American-Israeli alliance. They took out Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan, the main nuclear sites. Israel killed most, if not all, of the senior nuclear scientists, struck key parts of...
I think they got 11 total, 11 scientists. There for a while, it was reporting that they had gotten 9 nuclear scientists, but the updated number that I had saw was 11.
Nuclear program, and set Iran back by years. Iran is no longer a nuclear threshold state. And the challenge now, how do you keep the Iranian program down? How do you stop them rebuilding it? How do you stop them rebuilding their enriched
What's up, Gunpowder Nitro, my man? Good morning.
facilities to get that uranium they need to build a nuclear bomb? So I think Israel will be speaking to Russia, which is, of course, a patron or ally of Iran, to get the Russians to understand there's no point in helping Iran rebuild its nuclear program. It's over. Israel, whether alone, whether together with the United States, will make sure that the Iranian regime can never get nuclear weapons, and it would be a very bad idea to support Iran's so-called right to enrich uranium. You know, the most dangerous regime in the world cannot be allowed to get anywhere close to the world's most dangerous weapons.
One last question, and I've asked you this time and time again, but
Let's see if it's even decent.
Misconceptions, misunderstandings about the situation going on in the Middle East that you want to make sure to clarify for people who are watching?
That's a good question, actually.
Now there is a crazy propaganda campaign being waged around the world to convince people that Israel is trying to deliberately starve the people of Gaza. Nothing could be further from the truth. Israel is trying to get food to people in Gaza and make sure the terrorists can't steal it. By the way, it's the biggest operation in military history to get aid into enemy-held territory while the enemy is still in power, still holding hostages, still able to shoot mortars and rockets, and still fighting. No army in the history of the world has delivered so much food. We're talking nearly 2 million tons of food since the...
Yeah, but Hamas isn't taking on direct fire like that, in all fairness there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end it there. Make sure you guys stick around for the raid. We're going to be raiding our buddy Chaotic Truth. So you guys make sure you let him know that we're coming through with the raid. Always very much appreciate you guys hitting that like button, by the way. Helps out the show immensely. And listen, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. But until then, God bless everyone, and we'll see you guys very soon. Much love, honor, respect to everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar.
And my man Briar Wolf, thank you for that, my man.
Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit.